Okay, now I've kind of gone through lots of the main fights from the Marvel vs. DC book. So now I'm into some of those that are much smaller fights. So I decided to begin this one, of course, with Catwoman versus Elektra. As always, I have my 9 criteria. Fighting ability, strength, speed, durability, and vulnerability. So durability is kind of your resistance, your stamina resistance to fatigue and coming back. And vulnerability is how you can take damage. Also, you have strength, speed, fighting ability. They also have intelligence. Yeah, it's great to space off Nolan's intelligence. They also have energy projection, which is just raw distance abilities, versatility, and X factor, whatever isn't, you know, in the previous 8 ones. So we begin first of all with intelligence. Now, you have Catwoman, who has a decent amount of high society training, but predominantly is a cat burglar. On the other side, you have Elektra, who, depending on who is writing her, she again either has a very high like Greek aristocracy background, as well as being an expertly trained ninja. The scenario for these two is super easy to figure out. You can pretty easily have, Elektra having a higher amount of money, higher amount of prestige, her being at a ball where there's jewels, kind of one of those like fancy museum style affairs. And then Catwoman going there, of course, to steal some prized artifact that could be part of Elektra's family's collection. And then these two actually sparring each other. So, if the overall intelligence standpoint, Elektra has had to go toe to toe with Daredevil an awful lot, and Daredevil no slouch. On the other side, Catwoman goes toe to toe with Batman an awful lot. So I'd probably say from an intelligence standpoint, I'm going to give a very slight edge to Catwoman. Fighting ability. Catwoman trained very well, however, you have an expertly trained ninja. So Elektra, fighting ability. Strength. In this one, Catwoman was only never drawn to have a high degree of physical strength. She was a lot more in her flexibility and her agility. Where you do definitely see a lot more in terms of strength and power coming out of Elektra. Speed. In this one, this is kind of a toss-up, because they both have an awful lot of acrobatic training. I will actually give Catwoman a slight edge, because it has been mentioned before that she does actually have enhanced reflexes. So she does have reflexes that are slightly higher than peak human conditioning. Okay, now we're at invulnerability. Elektra normally is drawn wearing slightly more than a bathing suit. Catwoman occasionally has on some at least armor related, unless she's drawn with the bizarre, like black leather outfit with the giant zipper that doesn't actually zip all the way up. But predominantly she is shown with some things that at least can absorb a decent amount of damage. Durability. Who do I think will actually gas out first in this sort of fight? Catwoman is more of a hit and run sort of person, not a prolonged fight. Elektra definitely is a prolonged fight sort of person. She wants to keep this fight close, and she will eventually, sooner or later, she will wear down Catwoman. Now we're at energy projection. This one's kind of bizarre because they really don't shoot lasers or anything. For a distance game, you essentially have whips, and depending on the era in which Catwoman was written, she does have access to something that's kind of close to like utility belt against somebody who normally walks around with shuriken and can throw her size. So I would say from a straight out distance perspective, and just the raw ability to deal more damage, I'll probably give this edge to Elektra. In versatility, I'll actually give that edge to Catwoman. Now that she has begun to walk around with, she's taking a page out of Batman's book and does walk around with some more gadgets, some more tools to her to help her escape more than anything else, she does have more things she brings to the ball. Now we're down to X Factor. There is one thing that Elektra actually has. She has kind of like a spider sense. So she can kind of anticipate things a couple seconds in advance. That is actually going to give her a pretty good sized edge. Now, in this sort of scenario, of course, it's being 5-4, it could kind of go either way. With it being 5, predominantly Elektra should be able to defeat Catwoman. But at the same time, you've got a much higher degree of skill against someone on the other side who might be able to do a little bit more in the way of mind games. Elektra a lot of time with Daredevil. On the other side, you've got Catwoman spent lots of time with Batman. So they have gleamed abilities from both of them. And at any point in time, Batman will fight dirty for a win. At the same time, Elektra's going to fight dirty for a win. So will that couple of seconds of intuition be able to help her defeat someone like Catwoman? More than likely. Could Catwoman also probably set some sort of trap to help her defeat Elektra? Yeah. So more than likely, Elektra would be the victor out of these two. Doesn't mean the Catwoman might not be able to squeak out a victory. She does have 9 lives.